Hilarious.
Let's go. All right, welcome everybody. This is CBSI. No, not even presents. This is Hot Top 10 now. I'm getting confused. There's 4 people.
It's still CBSI presents.
Yeah. So basically, this is the Hot 10 show for today is 1/17/2020. We have 4 people on tonight. I like it. So comicbookinvest.com for all your speculation needs. Obviously, the top 10. That's vital. Everyone look at that. I'm Dino. We're about to get 6 to 8 inches of snow, so I'm bunkered in. We have Mr. Paul's Problems here. He knows everything about the top 10 show. We got Brian and McClay running background noise, and then we got Ben S, the creator of the top 10, the legend, OG.
He writes it sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
A couple times, yeah.
He lets the robots and the Twitter trolls run it the rest of the week.
So we have a variant or a giveaway book tonight. This is a book that I don't think we've talked about on FlipSide or Hot 10.
Nope.
It is Heart Attack #1, the one-stop shop exclusive variant that was limited to a print run of only 250 copies. Basically, it goes along with the rest of our giveaways, guys. Make a cool comment in the chat underneath the comments on the YouTube page or the Hot 10 page on CBSI.com. comicbookinvest.com. Just go to comicbookinvest.com and look to the right of the page. And of course, you will see the Hot 10 list. You click on the Hot 10 list. And of course, read all the Hot 10, Ben's amazing work. And then make a comment here in the comments or make a comment in the live chat. And if we like it, we'll pick it and we'll get a hold of you to send you out that copy of Heart Attack #1 from One Stop Shop. So away we go.
Very cool. Hey, what's up, everybody? And we will start, as we always do, with a Golden Age book on the honorable mentions. And this is a classic. It is War Against Crime #10. This is Johnny Craig cover. Johnny Craig and Al Feldstein did the writing for it. This is the first appearance of the Vault Keeper, not the Crypt Keeper, but it is the Vault Keeper. And it's the first time that EC went with the Vault of Horror, which followed this up. And 2 issues later, I think, is when it jumped over to Vault of Horror. And there's some classic covers in there as well.
Is it at 28? I think Vault of Horror 28. Is it 28? I think it's a classic. But
yeah,
is this War Against Crime? I don't think this is one of the first ones that's been on here. I think, right? I think you've had another War Against Crime on here, haven't you?
It's possible. A lot of times the crime kind of gets overlooked.
It does.
I think crime's actually got some of the crime covers are kind of just as good as a lot of the horror covers. They're maybe not as gruesome.
They kind of intertwine.
Yeah. But there's a lot of times there's a lot of females in red dresses, getting shot at or whatever. And
I had that one where she's getting thrown out of the car, Crimes for Women or whatever, Crimes by Women.
Some of those Crimes for Women are good, great covers.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the few covers where a woman actually isn't committing a crime. She's getting thrown out of a car. So
this was not that easy to find. But a 4.5 copy sold this week on, I think it was on Heritage, for $1,300, which is about 3X guide. And the last 4.5 I could find, there's only been like 2 sales in the last 2 or 3 years in any grade of this, but the last 4.5 sold in 2015 for just $400. So it's went from 400 to 13 something in just a few years with really no sales. So
I like how the guy with the gun looks like a old cartoon Clark Kent.
Yeah. Yeah, and
they all look like Clark Kent.
Yeah.
Is this EC? Yeah, this is EC.
Yeah.
I can't believe there's only. I mean, I'm surprised. There's 37 on the census.
Which really, when you think about it, I mean, there was probably 500,000 of these printed.
And you want to know a crazy one? For being a 50s book, there's 7 9/8s.
Woo!
And wait, there's 199.
What?
of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, there's definitely a file copy.
Yeah.
But still, yeah, for a book to be 70 years old and in a 9.9 when I've never submitted a book that's got a 9.9.
I think Leg might have done one maybe.
But yeah. So, anyways, that's our stroll down the golden age for tonight. I don't know if there are other honorable mention here. I don't know if you guys have any idea what this is because, to be honest, I really don't have much of an idea about it.
Come on, you don't know Dark Horse, man?
Dark Horse manga? No.
Come on.
That's a little out of my comfort zone. But we got Domu: A Child's Dream #3. Now I will say this was written and drawn by Katsuhiro Otomo, which is the same guy who did Akira, correct?
Yes. It was I guess the publication dates, I guess. I mean, this is a trade paperback, but it's probably around the same time. February 1 of 96. So basically it's on a twisted old man gifted with extrasensory powers. It holds silently holds sway over an entire block of apartments. And basically he's just controlling the whole occupants and everything else. And basically a young girl who has psychic abilities comes on and challenges him to overtake the apartment complex. So
yeah. So this was a three issue. I think they listed as trade paperbacks, but it's actually kind of like an oversized, kind of like the old Elseworlds were, kind of thick square bound. I don't know if this one's square bound, to be honest. I've never seen this book, so
me either.
If anybody knows if it's square bound, I'm not 100% sure. But I kind of went back. There's not a whole lot of them for sale, but the ones that I could find, this one was about a $30 book. But this week, several copies sold for about 50 to 60. And then 1 and 2 sell well as well. So I think like people that sell them as a set are getting about 150 to 160 for a set of the 3.
Yeah.
Which that's a lot.
Is that because of Netflix? Sorry, I missed that part. Is it Netflix or just random, I guess?
I don't know of any Netflix news on this.
Or any kind of news, I guess.
I don't know of any news on this. I think this is just kind of falls into the, hey, this is a cool story and it's pretty hard to find.
Okay.
Reminds me of Mad Perot from Cowboy Bebop, that guy in the background.
Oh, yeah.
Experiments done and he loses his mind.
Yeah. And if anybody doesn't know anything about Cowboy Bebop, those sell really well as well. But, so there we go. Like I said, do you guys know anything else about this one?
Never seen the cover.
I haven't seen it. I'm not a new Magna fan, and basically I just read it off Dark Horse's website, so I'll give myself up acting like I actually do it.
All right, so we're going to move into the actual list here, and we're at number 10. And this is this is kind of a funny one to me, but yeah. All right, we all loved Saved by the Bell back in the for us, us kids born in the 70s, 80s. This was early 90s. Funny. I mean, it's terrible. Like if you've ever seen like any of the repeats of this,
and it was on like 8 o'clock in the morning before you went to school.
Oh my gosh. It's really funny, and I don't know if any of you guys have noticed this before we talk about the book, but the only two people with word bubbles are Dustin Diamond and Elizabeth Berkley, who turned out to be like the
cast-offs.
Yeah, the complete train wreck of people.
Yeah,
all of them.
I met Elizabeth Berkley in Detroit in Motor City Comic Con. So I got in backstage, and she was walking in with me. It was cool.
But anyways, for those, I'm assuming that there was a spike in price on this because of the upcoming new show, and apparently I don't know if all of the cast is back other than Dustin Diamond, but I did hear that Mark Gosselaar was and Mario Lopez was. I don't know about the the girls. I don't know.
I heard that Elizabeth Berkley's back. Mario Lopez and Elizabeth Berkley are the two mainstays in the show, while everybody else will just have like cameo appearances. But look at Kelly on that cover. She looks like she's darker than Lisa.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like what the hell?
She got to the tan booth a little earlier. The whole thing is that there's actually 3 censuses, 3 books on the census for this, and they're all signature series, and the highest grade's only a 9.6.
What a great book to get signature series.
Yeah.
What a great book to get signature series. God, that would be great. I'm sure Jimmy's all over this one.
I was gonna say, he's someone who there's a whole YouTube series called Zach Morris's Trash, and it like revisits the episodes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gosh. So anyway, this was published by Harvey, and obviously this was like, dollar bin fodder for probably for the last 20 years.
But there is a newsstand copy.
Yeah, well, I think that I'm not sure there is a direct edition, to be honest.
I think so.
Is there a direct? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. This week they've been selling for 20 to 25. So I mean, I don't get it. I don't understand, but it is what it is. So
I like how Rags says, "Which one is Kelly?" And Paul writes back to him, "Which one is Kelly?"
Hey, what's sad is I think a lot of people, my nephews and nieces, they were born after the show was even. I mean, they were born after this show, so
that's how I knew I was old when I was telling people stories about like this stuff, and they go, "I don't know what you're talking about." Saved by the Bell. It's like, what?
Right.
You know what's gonna be funny is when the young kids watch this on like somewhere and they get like the big phone out and they're like, "Dad, why is their phone so big?"
Hey, what's up?
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's our little trip down memory lane this week. All right, coming in at number 9 is a repeat from last week, which we didn't do a show last week, correct?
Nope. No show. Yeah, we didn't do show.
Hey, and I will take the blame for that.
Oh no, it's okay.
No, life happens, brother.
Hey, I got the list in way late last week, and
I should have done it by myself and did a diatribe of just nothing.
You could have. I didn't even. Honestly, I didn't even get to post the. I had Ben and James had to post the words, and I mean I had everything typed up, just not in not on the website. So they had to transfer all the stuff for me. So I totally appreciate that. But Thor God of Thunder number 19. It's the first appearance of Dario Agger, which I guess is a. I guess the rumor is that Christian Bale is either going to be Dario Agger, Beta Ray Bill, or possibly
God Butcher.
Could be the God Butcher as well.
That's what a lot of people have been hoping, that he's going to be the God Butcher. I think that that's going to be putting a lot more hype, of course, on this run. But
yeah, I don't go over my head, man. I didn't read any of these.
This by far is one of the best runs in comic books in the last 15, 20 years. It gave Jason Aaron his hype. Obviously, it's a huge part of the spec game right now. And I just see it getting bigger. If this story gets anywhere near a screen, it's just going to be crazy.
I would suspect that it's still possible to find these in back issue bins, I would assume. It had been before last week. It was like a $5 to $10 book because of the first appearance. It wasn't, hugely sought after. But last week it went up to 15 to 20. This week it's now up to 30 to 35. So I don't know. I think people are kind of guessing which character it's going to be. To be honest, if it's Christian Bale, I hope it's not Beta Ray Bill, because
what a waste.
Yeah, I think that would be a waste. But
yeah, I mean, it'd just be his voice.
Yeah,
I mean, but Josh Brolin did really well with
yeah, but Thanos, it looked like Josh Brolin.
Yeah,
there's no way Christian Bale is going to look like a horse.
So did Vin Diesel.
Well, hey, you know what Chad always says? You know who could play it? It was Sarah Jessica Parker.
Real quick, Ham Fam made a comment here. Scooped a super clean copy of this at Zia the other day for $3. For those of you who don't know, here in Arizona, I don't think there's any more Zias out there, but out here in Arizona, Zia is a local record store that was real big back in the day. That kind of moved over from selling records to, basically. They used to have people bring in old CDs and sell them to the shop where you get store credit. And they kind of started doing that with comics and toys and all kinds of stuff to stay relevant. And for those of you guys that don't know, you can blame Ham Fam for blowing up your honey hole at Zia.
Okay. Number 8. Now you guys I want to hear your guys' opinion on this.
Okay.
DC Superstars number 17. This ties with All-Star Comics number 69 as the first appearance of Helena Wayne as Huntress. Copies have been selling for a lot here recently with the Birds of Prey movie coming. 9.0s are now hitting 150 on this book. Raws 50 to 60. Here's my question: is Helena Wayne is not who is in the movie? It's Helena Bertinelli.
Yes,
which is her first appearances in Huntress number 1. So, think of other characters like this where it's kind of changed names. Batgirl,
Robin.
Yeah, Robin. I mean, what is the draw? Is it the
cover?
Is it the character?
Yeah.
And then nobody necessarily cares who's behind the mask. It's just the mask that's popular, or what is it? I think it's
that because if you look at, we don't have a picture, but it's okay. All-Star Comics 69. It's not. I mean, it's got everybody else on it except for Huntress. So I think that's why.
I guess I can see that. Which ironically, the CGC case lists that as a first appearance, but does not list this one as a first appearance, even though they came out the same day.
And it's like almost like Hawkman 4 and first Zatanna, right? I mean, she's not on the cover, but
True. But
unless you read the book,
I guess it's just weird. Like how? I mean, the character is the character that big to where you want the first appearance of that character and not the person behind the character? It's just kind of strange to me.
I might actually flip it too, because I like this cover because I have one of the Zatanna DC Superstars, and it's a hard book because it's square bound. I don't know if this one's square bound too, but at least some of the early DC Superstars were square bound, and they're so hard to get high grades, man. I mean, I don't know if that's the allure of it too. I mean, it could be. I don't know.
Well, I mean, obviously, Huntress number 1 was in the 80s, and there's probably a million copies out there.
Correct.
I don't know. I was intrigued by the spike of this.
Well, I think it goes back to the whole cover. I mean, she's on the cover, and it's also there's probably a little less of these out there right now than the Huntress number 1. Didn't that Huntress number 1 come out in like the comics craze of the early 90s?
No, it was like 84, so it was like, I mean, which is probably worse.
Yeah,
to be honest.
But
yeah.
I think this is too, because like I had a Zatanna, and it's a 9.8, right? That DC Superstars 11 or whatever it is. But I had a bunch of Hawkman 4s, but there's only 3 DC Superstars 11s or whatever as at 9.8. So it's more rare, and she's actually on the cover. But Hawkman 4 theoretically could sell for more money, obviously, if it's a 9.8, but still, I mean,
I guess we're going back to the age-old thing, the Hulk 180, 181. He's on the cover on 181.
Yeah, so I was just gonna say.
Yeah, okay.
But I mean, we go from one reason a book is selling is to the cover to number 7, which is just anything with Bruce Timm. Yeah.
Vampirella, this is the monthly series in 1999, number 20, and this is the Bruce Timm variant. This has always been I've heard several people say that they've wanted this cover for a while. But it had been about a $50 to $60 book, but multiple copies sold this week for $100 plus. There was one sold for $125, and then there was a combo with the other Bruce Timm Vampirella,
which is gorgeous itself.
Yeah, which I think the other one is actually a nicer cover.
I agree.
But that combo sold for $2 something. So, yeah.
Have you got one of these yet?
Who?
You.
I have both Bruce Timm Vampirellas.
Oh, okay, I didn't know if you found one. I mean, you know.
Yes, I found both of them in the wild.
Yeah.
A long time ago.
Yeah.
But I like Bruce Timm.
No, I mean, you're probably one of the biggest Bruce Timm supporters out there. So
I like Bruce Timm's art. It's just it's different.
Yep.
But yeah. So, anyways, this was pretty hard to find. There's not ever going to be a whole bunch of copies for sale. And I don't know. I still go back and forth with it in my mind on some of these variants on the ones that are really hard to find. Is it better just to sit on these for decades?
Yes. Yes. Look at the Sea-Ohm She-Hulk cover. I mean, pretty hard to find. If I knew what I knew now, I wouldn't have sold that book 5 years ago when I sold it. But I mean,
I've never seen that She-Hulk in person.
I've had one.
And you sold it.
Well, I mean, for reasons I needed to, but I mean, yeah, I sold it.
Yeah, I just I mean, there's so many good Vampirella covers out there.
Yes.
But this issue actually, I think the appeal of this was they actually brought together a lot of the old creators from like the old
Warren run.
The Batman Adventures.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, so like Ty Templeton was in there. I think several of those creators were part of this issue, and I think that's why Bruce Timm ended up doing the cover.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, this one's pretty hard to find. So another one that's pretty hard to find at number 6 is the Ghost Spider number 2, the Peach Momoko. And Peach Momoko stuff is really hot right now. It's surprising to me, to be honest, but maybe it's just because it's so different.
This has been on the list a couple of times now. So
a long time back when it first came out, prices kind of settled there in that $60 to $70 range. This week that's jumped to $130 plus. It's just a 1 in 25. It's not, super rare. But I don't know. The Peach Momoko's popping up all over the place right now. Mm-hmm. And she's kind of the hot artist.
Yeah. She's the it girl right now in comics.
Did people hate on this cover when it came out?
Some people don't like her style at all.
Yeah, they think it looks kind of like a kid's coloring book.
When did it come out?
This was
a couple months ago.
Right? Oh, okay. I thought.
Well, this was right after. This was the issue right after the In-Hyuk Lee, right? The number 1 where she's in the rain. So that was summer of last year.
Oh, really? I thought this one came out a couple months ago.
Well, that was. I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's a while ago now.
I'm thinking that was how long ago that was. I mean, let me double check, but I think the style is just so different than the like
the Shannon Mayer style.
Yeah, the realistic looking.
Well, that's a perfect example. We go from Vampirella, where Bruce Timm has got a real cartoon style, right, to this type of same thing where it's a real cartoony style.
Well, and all the haters can hate because most of those people like Scotty Young.
Yep.
And right, Scotty Young is a prototypical cartoon guy, right? I mean,
yeah. I guess it came out like in September, Brian.
Okay.
It's got a November cover date on it, but obviously it was a couple months before the cover date. So,
yeah.
I mean, I think it's cool. I mean, I would say her stuff all looks the same because of the style, but I think it's kind of in depth. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's not like she's getting this. You're getting the same cover every time. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's little nuances and stuff. I mean,
this one's pretty cool. I mean, the way she did the
dude, she did a Turtles one. I showed Paul. She did a Turtles one. It was pretty cool. I mean,
I really like this cover.
Did you show me?
This one kind of has the Chamber of Chills, look.
Yep.
in a modern sense.
This is here. You want to pull that down? I'll share the screen for. This is her on the. This is the Turtles one she did.
I think did you show me that one? Yeah,
I
you showed
thought-
me that one. Yeah, a couple
yeah.
people sent me that one. That one was a store variant, I think.
Yeah.
The expensive one.
So I mean, she does good stuff. I mean, it's not like she. I mean.
Yeah, she is. She's very good, but she also has that raw kind of color book style. That's the best way I can put it.
I mean, I think it's cool. I mean, I like to see people innovate. I'd hate to have everything look the same, right? I mean,
yep,
absolutely.
Spice of life, variety, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
All right,
on to the next one.
Next one, number 5. New Mutants number 18. This was written by Chris Claremont, drawn by Bill Sienkiewicz, covered by Bill Sienkiewicz. It's actually, like, when you look at the cover, it's a pretty sick looking cover, to be honest.
Yeah.
But his run in New Mutants was just some of his best ever. But with the New Mutants trailer dropping, it's hard for me to tell whether people are excited for the movie to come out or not.
I think there's a lot of people that have a lot of books they want to sell.
It's just been so long. I mean, this thing was supposed to come out in 2018. So, I mean, it's 2 years that this thing's been. I mean, remember the first trailer we got was like in November of 2017.
Yeah, it was came along with the first trailer for the Phoenix.
Yeah, I was gonna say I remember the last time this book was hot, and it was good 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess Demon Bear is going to be the villain in the movie, and 9/8s are back up to 150 again. They dropped all the way back down to like $80. So yeah, 150 is still, I think it's a lot because this is a super high print run, and pretty much all the people that had this were the ones that, kind of speculators from 3 years ago that have kind of just sat on them for that long. But I'm actually really hoping that the movie is done well. I really hope it is.
Yeah.
So do they.
Well, I just the genre, the horror aspect of it, I think is exactly what New Mutants needed. And I just really hope that it works, because if it works, then they're going to be more likely to do another Marvel horror, with, getting into the horror genre. So I hope it's done. It's well.
And then by the third movie, Deadpool will come in.
They could still do a really good horror Deadpool movie with the Uncanny X-Force run, I think. When
Deadpool show up in any movie, I think, right?
Yep. It'll be interesting.
Okay, number 4. This one is super rare. Marvel Tales Raven, and this just came out this week. Marvel Tales Ravencroft number 1. It is the In-Hyuk Lee 1 in 50 Virgin variant. We've seen some of these Marvel Tales pop up on the list before. Either some of the Jim Bartels. This one's pretty sick. Red Goblin cover. It looks like I guess he's like Carnageized or something like that. I mean, or is that what? I don't really know much about Red Goblin, but
yeah, I was gonna say, do you think Red Goblin's dead? Are they trying to they tried to push him too hard and failed? Or I was curious when I saw this on the list. I was like, where's Red Goblin coming out of left field?
But yeah, 1 in 50. There's only been a few sales. When I wrote the list, there were none for sale. There were no live listings at all. But it's already 125 plus. So 2.5x ratio 2 days after release, with none to be seen for sale. I really wish that they would have rather than just doing just a virgin cover, I really wish this was just its own cover and just have a completely different cover for the regular issue. I think that would be a big help as far as like long term. But man,
Keep it thorough brings up a good kind of question that where we're kind of going is, do we think that Red Goblin spec is worth it? And I think it's obvious that most of us think that it wasn't worth it until we see something like this. And the only reason that this is worth it is because of the rarity, right? They really messed up.
And Lee.
Yeah, and Hook Lee, yeah, or Lee and Hook, however you say it. But they also really messed up that whole Red Goblin spec because of how many copies were out there.
Yeah, them letting the FOC just keep going day after day after day. Oh, we're going to extend it farther. Oh, we're going to extend it, and then the print run went ridiculous.
Yes. Yeah. And I could see this one. I kind of agree with Dennis here that I could see this one dropping once people, Red Goblin fans or maybe Lee fans kind of get their copies. But depends on how rare it is. Like you say, I mean, this is a 1 in 50. So
it'll be a hard 9.8 too. I mean, the top portion's kind of dark. I mean, if I was a signature guy, I get, and even though we kind of signed it at the bottom there, I get it red right on that top left corner, just right on the top in red. It'd be dope.
Metallic red, that would look sick.
Yeah, looks sick.
I mean, this is probably a $7-8 cover price, and it's all reprint. So
yep.
I mean, most LCSs, they're not even going to order this. They're like, it's just a reprint. I'm not paying. I mean, they're paying $4 to $5 to sell an $8 book. I don't think they're not going to order 50 copies of this.
No, I bet you young people like My Comic Shop, Graham Crackers, probably.
Yeah, Midtown maybe. I mean,
Midtown.
But that's about it. But I mean, they're already gone. So I don't know. The Bartels dropped in price, but man, those have got to be just ridiculously rare.
Yeah.
All right, on to another one that's been on the list a couple times.
Yep, it's our old Star Wars Clone Wars #1 friend. It's
more casting rumors, right?
I saw what was it? I saw somebody
Dawson.
Yeah, somebody posted something
Dawson
that Ahsoka had already been cast.
Oh,
and was kind of like on a, these are the people for Mandalorian. I don't know.
Yeah, a younger kid, right? Is that what it was?
I can't even remember, to be honest. But
I saw an article that probably a lot of people saw with they did like a imagining of Rosario Dawson as a grown-up Ahsoka, or how do you say her name?
I think it's Ahsoka.
A grown-up Ahsoka that looked really cool, and I know she's kind of thrown it out there that she wants to play the character, but then I've also saw where a couple of people, like you said, Ben, have said that it's already been cast.
Yeah. I mean, if you really think about, and maybe we've talked about this before, I can't remember, but I'm old. I can't. My memory fails me from time to time. But you really think about Star Wars as a whole. Disney's not going. I mean, they're going to keep making movies. They're going to keep making product. They're going to milk this till 50 years from now. I mean, they're never going to stop. Taking that or milking that cash cow. But you really think about the comic portion of it. I mean, pretty much every character that's been made so far has originated on the screen and then been translated to comics. There's not really, I can't think of a character that originated in the comics and then went to the screen.
They're all getting ready to blow up.
Well, and that's the thing, is that when that happens, how much are those issues going to be worth?
Yeah. Afra, Ahsoka, all the evil, Darth Revan, Darth Bane, all those guys, the twins.
I mean, there's just, the amount of characters. I mean, because if you're just talking about space, I mean, you could make an infinite number of characters. And there's so many first appearances. I think Topher just didn't Topher just drop
Topher got a ton of articles on famous first on Star Wars characters, but yeah, he just did a recent one. And like you said, Ben, we've been talking about that for a while, that there's a ton of issues available that have first, that if they start pulling from that that vine, it's going to be crazy.
I mean, yeah, I think they're going to be big. I mean, they could be big dollar books. I mean, Star Wars people already are paying. You know, I mean, some of those rare variants. I mean, they pay hundreds of dollars. That those issues have no significance whatsoever. So you all of a sudden throw in, you know, books like this. I mean, right now it's Raws are hitting 100 a quarter. So there was a near mint. So the guy said it was near mint to mint raw copy sold for $250, just a raw copy.
And the variant for this book is ridiculous.
The variant's hitting like, I think 9/8 are hitting like 800 now. Granted, there's only 1,000 copies. But you know, I don't know. I'm really interested to see the reaction of when a comic Star Wars character transfers to the big screen or the small screen in canon. That's what I'd like to see what happens.
Yep. It'll be interesting.
Yep. All right. 2 books left, and they're kind of on the same vein. Number 2, SpiderMan number 76. When did this book get hot? A year ago?
Yeah.
When people knew that Morbius was going to come to the screen? Is that what drove it then?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it basically kind of dropped back to $1, the dollar bins. But it's popped back up to $15, $20 again. So if you held your copy, now you got a chance to sell it again.
Because everybody's digging Peter Parker Spider-Man from '97.
Yeah, I mean,
I blow past that every time, dude. I didn't even look.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever actually tried to look for this book either. Even when it got hot before, I think I just was like, I don't even care.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe we can kind of tie this in with number 1 this week, and it's kind of another oldie. It's Amazing Spider-Man number 101, first appearance of Morbius. What did you guys think of the trailer?
I thought it was cheesy. I thought it looked really dated, but I think that that last scene where they tied in with Michael Keaton's Vulture is what everybody's going crazy for, right? Because this is the beginning of the what do they call it? The something 6, the Sinister Six. Yeah.
Another hard book to find. The Amazing Spider-Man Annual number 1. I wouldn't say super hard to find, but super hard to find at high grade and stuff like that too. So that's what I want to look out for.
I read someone specking that maybe Morbius in the movie reaches out to Doc Ock as a doctor to doctor, kind of like trying to heal myself thing, and that's how they might build it.
I mean, I can see that, but remember, it is Sony running this program or this show, so they no offense to our own Matt DeVoe, but they don't dribble that ball very well.
No.
Yeah. I think Sony and Disney need to shake hands and realize what they both have and work together to do the fans right. Did you guys hear the story of the actor for Spider-Man, the new one? What's his name?
Tom Holland.
Yeah, Tom Holland basically saving that deal.
I don't know how true that is.
He told the story himself.
I know, but like, how true is it that because he called the guy, and you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I think that Tom Holland and how much people have gravitated towards his version of Spider-Man might be part of the reason. But listen, man, Tom Holland didn't change it. I think that how much money they knew that they were going to be able to make off this character changed that.
Heavy downer down there.
Hey, and this is somebody, Rag718 said the second print of this is doing really well as well. I know which it is, but is it just me, or does this cover just bother you?
It does.
He's got 6 arms.
He does have 6 arms. I didn't notice that until you just said it, but yeah.
Well, this is when he that whole run was going on where he took I forget what the mutation that caused him to grow
Is
the
that
6
what it
arms.
was?
Yeah.
Because it's really bothering me. It's a terrible looking cover.
Hey man, he got 6 arms so quickly he couldn't even change his suit to cover the other arms.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know. I'd never read this issue or anything. It just looks.
You never saw it in the cartoon, the '90s cartoon, or anything?
Yeah, that was big in the 90s cartoon.
Bro, I was like 18 in the 90s.
So my thing was, so Spider-Man, I guess, can only defeat Morbius with 6 arms and not 2. I'm gonna play that one out.
I will say though that in the cartoon, for those that remember, the sucker hands were really creeping me out when I was a kid.
Yeah, for Morbius, big time.
my daughter's over here and she's like, me too, because we just started watching it.
See, my Spider-Man was from the 80s.
Oh God.
Yeah, I mean,
are you talking about Spider Friends, or are you talking about the Morgan Freeman show?
No, the Spider Friends.
Yeah.
I mean, that's old for me. I mean, I'm old. I'm about ready to hang it up, retire.
Yeah. But so thank you guys for joining us. You guys see any worthy comments for tonight's giveaway? Let's take a look here on the webpage. But for those of you guys that don't know, make sure you check us out every Monday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern for Tales from the FlipSide, where we talk about trying to make money off this stuff that we all enjoy collecting.
You know, if you don't see one on the, I got one. If you don't see one on the website.
Okay. Yeah, Dino, let's go with what you got. What do you got?
Since you literally destroyed this guy's honey hole, I'm going to give it to this hamster family because you literally destroyed his honey hole. So, I mean, at least we can give him a book because he's never ever going to get another book again.
Yeah, I just destroyed it for him. I apologize, brother. We'll be sending, we'll be getting your information here shortly, Ham Fam, and I'll have a copy of that book out to you, which was, if I can find it here. There we go. Heart Attack #1, the one-stop shop exclusive variant. That for all of you guys, if you want to get this book, you can go to comicbookinvest.com. There's only 250 of these copies, and if you want one, go buy one.
And then, do you want him to email us?
Yeah, go ahead and email us, brother. Give us your website information and all that fun stuff. I mean, your address information and all that fun stuff, and we will get a copy of this sent out to you.
Yep. Do CBSI FlipSide at gmail.com. I'll put it in the comments here. And then, like you said, make sure you put today's date and what you kind of won so we kind of know. And then we'll get you the book sent out to you.
Hell yeah. Very cool, guys. Thank you for watching, everybody. We appreciate it. And make a comment, share this. For those of you guys that don't know, we have a little thing going on for FlipSide right now. If we can get to, what was it, 725 subscribers by Monday night, we will be giving away a amazing book, one of the big foreign variants on the market right now. And that
probably what, a $250 book?
Yeah, it's not cheap.
It is pretty crazy. It is real quick. I apologize, guys, for not being prepared, but I'm going to go ahead and bring up the picture of that.
And while you're doing that, we are at 688. So we're not that far away. You know, we're 40 away. So
yeah. So this is what we're giving away, guys. This is the Japanese Playboy book that has the Spider-Man strip inside. The Amazing Spider-Man. I forget what issue they reprint in there or what it is, but this is a pretty big deal right now in the speculative market. And for those of you guys that want more info on this, go check out Global Comic Safari, another show on the Tales from the Flipside YouTube channel, where they talk about these foreign variants. You can also check out the latest episode of Tales from the Flipside, and that's episode 101 with Robert Fordham, who was kind enough to give us this copy of this book to give away. So if we meet our goal of 725 subscribers by Monday, we will be giving away this copy of this book. So go and subscribe if you haven't, and share this graphic, which you can find on our IG page, Instagram page. Share it on Instagram, reshare it, and we will see that, and we will add you to the list of people to be chosen at random if we hit that 725 subscriber mark by Monday night. So you can find that on our YouTube page. It's CBSI presents Tales from the Flipside on YouTube. Other than that, we appreciate it, you guys, and we'll catch you next time.
Good stuff. Have a good weekend.